Hello, children. I'm back with the next pages of the lesson. So let me move further. Before that, we'll have a quick revision over the previous pages of the chapter. As we have seen that Lencho is a farmer who was expecting the rainfall, but unfortunately, he just lost his crops because of the natural calamity, that is kind of a hailstone storm which destroyed his crop. The whole of his crop is totally destroyed, and he is in a situation that he was very helpless, and he was just very sad and disappointed that he could not get over the crop to his hands. So now what he does, and he compared the situation to a loctus where it would have left little bit more than that what it has been destroyed. So let me move on for the further paragraphs of the lesson to make you to understand. So it goes like this. But in the heart of all who lived in that solitary house, in the sense a single house, solitary, it is nothing but a single house, in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope that left out, that is only of a God. God would help them. So only this faith he had. Nothing is left out. Everything is vanished out, and whatever the thing has been invested on the crop, that has not been written back to Lencho. Now he is in a situation that in nobody can expect, but only God can make it. So that is what the belief he had. Don't be so upset, even though it seems like a total loss, and though he is self disappointed very much, but he is very much sad enough by himself, but he is just giving out a very positive note that don't be so much upset. It seems it's like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. So he says that nobody dies with the hunger, because God doesn't leave us for getting into the hunger and die off. All through the night, Lencho thought only his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. So he says that of on the same night he just thought of what would be our situation, what is tomorrow, what shall I feed my children, how is my family will be survived without the crop, because if you would have been got over the crop, you would have got some profit, but now there is no way to get over the profit now. Then what he does, let's see. So Lencho was an ox of a man. So this refers to that he was a very hard working fellow. He was compared to an animal, that is ox, working like an animals in the field, but still he knew how to write. But though he was a very hard worker and a farmer, though he was not done his double graduation and all, he was not such a person that he has not got a very high-fied education, but still he know how to write. The following Sunday has appeared, and in the daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself could carry to town and place in the mail. So he just managed to get some free time and come to the town in the place of a mail, in the sense the post office. It was nothing less than a letter to the God. So he all wanted is to write up a letter to the God. Now he wanted to write up the letter to the God. Does he really mean to write up the letter to the God? So let's see, what does he write off? He wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. So he writes in the very first line that if you don't help me, my family and I go hungry this year. So it is very compulsory to help me. That is what the demand he just fixed into the God. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to leave until the crop comes. So all he need is the 100 pesos. Pesos are nothing but the currency which was used in the several or the later days, in the sense the ancient period of Latin American country. So and then So he wanted 100 pesos to sow his land again, and the rest of the money will be utilized for his family for the sake of food until the crops comes off, because it's not a kind of a instant thing to be happen. We have to wait for the crop to grow up, isn't it? So, and we have to wait till the harvest time. Because the hailstorms has vanished away my crop over there, so that's the reason. So I just need 100 pesos to survive. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled, went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. He just took over the stamp, and he went to the town and posted the letter and put the letter into the mailbox, which consists of a letter in the envelope to the God. He is addressing to the God, and he has written upon the envelope that to God. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. So he is just showing the letter to God which has been written out, and he was so wholeheartedly he was laughing in, and he says that in the further lines, never in this career as a postman had he know that address. So he just say that in his whole of his career he has not ever seen that a person has written a letter to a God in the address of a God. The postmaster he is just doing all these things. So the postmaster was little bit fat and amiable. So amiable, it's nothing but the person who is very friendly and pleasant in nature, also broke out laughing. So he also started to laugh and enjoy the moment. But almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of a man who wrote this letter." So, starting up a correspondence with God. So, after all these funniest things, all the laughing has been finished off. What he is just doing is he just became little bit serious enough for a while. So, and then later, what happened? So, let's see. So, he became little bit serious enough regarding the situation, and there was a word of a faith over there, and he is just telling, "I wish I had a faith of a man that who wrote a letter starting up a correspondence with God." So there was very appreciable thing that he has so much of faith on the God, that he is writing to the God himself. And what is the address of the God? Do you know? I don't know, ba. So if you know, please let me know. So in order not to shake up the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. So, not to disturb up the faith of the God, so what he did is to hold on and to uphold his faith in the God of the writer. Postmaster came with an idea. So, what is that idea? Answer the letter. So, he wanted to reply the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper. So he decided to reply the letter along with the demand what Lencho had demanded in the letter. So what he has demanded? He has demanded 100 pesos, and several of his friends also agreed to give some money for an act of charity. As a charity, he collected the money, and he could not meet the demand of Lencho, but he was able to collect more than half of the amount of the money which was demanded by Lencho. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. So as I already told you that it was little bit difficult for him to gather up 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. So they managed to send a little more than that is maybe 70% of the money will be given out, that is 70 pesos, yes. And he put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. So he has just put over the money in the envelope, and he is ready to post up the letter. Then the envelope consists of a money, and a single word has been put up, that is a signature of the God there. So God does he signs? Don't know. But here it's a miracle that the God replied and he got his fulfilled of his demand. So is it true or not? So let's see. Let's see and go further of the lesson now. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. So the next Sunday, he just came to the post office to the town, and he was expecting a letter from the guard. So to inquire that, he was a little bit earlier than usual time whenever he usually was visiting there. So it was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on a form his office. So the postmaster himself, he just handed over the letter, that is the envelope, to Lencho. But Lencho was not aware of all these things, isn't it? So and then nothing was unexpectable. So all his activities are being observed from the office, in the sense the postmaster is observing all his activities from the inside of the office itself. So Lencho showed not the slightest surprise. So Lencho did not show any kind of a surprise, because he was so confident that he might get back his reply and the demand will be fulfilled by the God. Such was his confidence, but he became angry when he counted the money. So he was very angry when he counted the money, but he was not surprised to get back the reply for the letter from the God. God could not have made a mistake, nor could have denied Lencho what he had requested. So he was so confident that he will be getting the reply and get his demand fulfilled. And he also has a confidence on God that no, the God cannot make a mistake in counting the money, and he could not deny, in the sense he cannot ignore him and even his request also. So and what did he did? Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for a paper and a ink. So again, he want to give an answer for this letter, that he has asked for a paper and a ink. On the public writing table, he started to write up. So on the public table, he started to write up. And what does this letter consist of? That let's see. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow. So he just wrinkled up his brow, in the sense he is very angry now. This shows his angriness. And then, caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. So he is just expressing out through the help of the words all his ideas, and he's just finished off. And what does the letter consist of? We doesn't know yet, but he is just finished writing the letter. So when he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked and then affixed it. So what he did is he just wanted to post up. So for posting up, the stamp is compulsory. That's a mandatory thing to be stamped up, right? So he took up bought up a stamp there. He licked it in the sense made little bit wet enough with the help of his saliva, and he just fixed onto the envelope there. So what he did further, was it very helpful? So let's see. I'll be moving on to the next page of the lesson now. So please follow it up. So and then he just affixed the stamp over there. The envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. So he just dropped the letter into the mailbox, and the Lencho, he just left the place. So postmaster was observing all his activity. He just stood there itself to wait and watch what he would be doing it. So he just wrote the letter and put over the envelope inside the mailbox. So soon after his departure, Lencho's departure, postmaster came in and took over the letter because he was very curious that and he wanted to know what does the letter consist of and what he has written. And Lencho said, it said, God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. So he says that and he gives an clarification that I haven't reached my demand, but only the money I have got is only the 70 pesos. Send me the rest since I need it very much. So he is just demanding for the other 30 pesos over there because he just wanted the money and he is in very much in needy situation. But don't send it through me, send it to me through the mail because the post office employees are bunch of crooks. So he just doubted on to the the post office employees itself, and he is requesting to the God that please don't send the money, the rest of 30 pesos through the mail. In the sense, he don't want to just send over the money through the mail, but he wants something and he wants the other mode of reservation of the money now. And he doubted on the employees of the post office itself, and he's just referring them as a bunch of crooks. It seems crooks are nothing but the people who are really irresponsible. Crooks are very dishonest fellows, right? So this was the letter written by Lencho to God. So this is up to the lesson. So hope you all understood. So finally, the moral of the story, what is it? If you have a strong faith, some or the other way you will be helped definitely by the God. The God will send us the angels to help us. So have a belief in God always and think positive, do good things. Everything will be good and well. And hope you all understood this lesson. So I'll be meeting you up in the next video and then in a very new lesson or a poem. So till by then, please do revise the text and understand the lesson better. So till by then, happy learning.